Hi everyone, welcome to customsbreeze.com, where filling out your customs form is easy breezy and in the comfort of your own home. Today we're going to be doing the United States Customs form. As you can see, I have already pulled up the name and we're going to go into the search section so that we can go into the area that's going to tell us the things that we need to know about the United States Customs form. So here we are in the United States section, and what I'm going to do, because I want to know more information about what is required of me before I go to the United States, I'm going to click in this section where it says Customs Declaration Form CBP Form 6059B and find out more information before I actually fill out the form. So I'm informed before I put pen to paper. So I'm going to click on this section, and here it is. This is the section that I want. And before I go to the download PDF or fill out form online, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go into the summary of rules and regulations. And the first thing I come to is the customs forms. Now this is going to give me the information that I need about the customs form. So it's saying all travelers entering the United States, including U.S. citizens and residents, are required to fill out a customs declaration form, which is the CBP Form 6059B, before they land. The form requires basic information such as your name, date of birth, nationality, and passport details, as well as information about the purpose of your trip and any goods or items you are bringing with you. If you're traveling with family members, you can include their information on the same form. So that's basically telling you, hey, you don't have to fill out separate forms for your family members. Okay, so we're going to scroll down a little further. And this is an important section as well, which is the prohibited and restricted items section. Prohibited and restricted items for U.S. Customs. The United States has strict regulations on what can be brought into the country. Some items are prohibited, while others are restricted and require special permits or licenses. Here are some examples of prohibited and restricted items. Okay, so the prohibited items. These are the items that you absolutely positively cannot bring in the country. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So illegal drugs, certain types of firearms and ammunition, counterfeit goods, products made from endangered species such as ivory or tortoiseshell, Cuban cigars, and other Cuban origin goods, obscene or immoral material. Now we're going to scroll down to the restricted items. So this is something, restricted items, there are limitations, so this is something that you should look at, especially when it comes to like the alcohol and tobacco products, because they give you limitations. You're able to bring it in, but you can only bring in X amount. And for medication, you have to have proof from a doctor, or it has to be in your name. It has to be something that pertains to you. Um, so they're giving you restrictions. They're not saying absolutely cannot, but they're saying if you show some proof or there are certain limitations to certain items, they can be brought in. So here's the list: plants and seeds, animal products such as meat, poultry, and eggs, fresh fruits and vegetables, alcohol and tobacco products subject to duty and quantity limits, medications and medical devices, certain types of electronics such as drones and GPS devices. So this is important to keep in mind, because if you are a doctor, if you are an engineer, if you are a scientist, there are these things you can bring in, but you have to show them certain documentations. So We're going to scroll down to the next section. The next section is about currency declaration. So when traveling to the United States, you must declare any currency or monetary instruments you are bringing into the country if the total value is 10,000 or more. So here it is, they're giving you a limitation. They're saying if it's 10,000 or more, you have to declare it. If it's less than that, then you don't. But if it's more than that, you have to. And it's not just $10,000 in US money, it's $10,000 in the equivalent of the foreign currency. So keep that in mind. And it's saying this includes cash, traveler's checks, and money orders. So there's a term that you may see come up, and it comes up in the next line. Failure to declare currency or monetary instruments. So monetary instruments, for some of you that do not know this term, it's basically bank checks or drafts, cashier checks, money orders, traveler's checks, or promissory notes. So those are things to keep in mind when you see that term, monetary instruments. Okay, so moving on. So failure to declare currency or monetary instruments over this amount can result in seizure of the funds and possible civil or criminal penalties. So don't screw around with this. It's better that you declare it than not declare it. They find out, and not only will they confiscate your cash, but you will have to pay a penalty and possible criminal charges. So you don't want that. So just declare it, get it out of the way, move on to the next thing. So it's saying to declare currency, you must fill out a report of international transportation of currency or monetary instruments. FIN, so let me just spell it out. FIN, FINCEN, FINCEN, FINCEN 105 form. This form is required for both incoming and outgoing currency and must be presented to the CBP officer upon arrival or departure. So we're going to scroll down to the next section, and it's telling you about customs procedures. So when you arrive in the United States, you'll need to go through immigration and customs. The immigration process involves presenting your passport and visa, if required, to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) officer, who will ask you questions about your trip. Now, don't get nervous about this. If you've done a lot of traveling, you'll notice that every customs area has a customs officer that will ask you questions like, where are you staying? What's your purpose? What are you bringing? Why are you bringing? Those kind of things. Just answer calmly and honestly, and you'll do fine. The next thing that they're asking is, after immigration, you'll proceed to the customs area where you'll need to present your customs declaration form and any receipts or invoices or items you're carrying. If you have anything to declare, such as gifts, food, or alcohol, you'll need to fill out an additional form, a CBP form 6059B, which is what we will be filling out today, and present it to the CBP officer. You may also be asked to provide additional information or documentation. So I'm not going to go through every little bit here. I mean, we're almost done, but you get the idea. And this information will also be on the form itself. So it's better that you look at this, get an idea of what to expect, and then go to the form, look at the form, read it carefully, and then put pen to paper. So we're going to go to the form now, and we're going to fill it out together. So here we are. here we are with the form, and as I said earlier, they're giving you the information on the right-hand side here that you need to know about what to expect, what to bring, what not to bring. This section here is the monetary section. And over here is where you itemize. This is the section where you itemize, where you the items that you have that you're declaring, you put it down and you do a description. And this section is for the officer to fill out. Okay. Oh, and they're also telling you here that the list may continue on another CBP form. So let's say that you have quite a few items, but you don't have enough lines on your form. You can just get another form and just continue filling out your items in the section on the additional form. So really easy. All right, so we're going to start. And we're moving to the left side here. And the first thing that they're asking, well, let me just read the top section. So you know this is the customs declaration form. So it's saying each arriving traveler or responsible family member must provide the following information. Only one written declaration per family is required. The term family is defined as members of a family residing in the same household who are related by blood, marriage, domestic relationship, or adoption. Okay, so now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. Number 1, family name. This is going to be your last name, or another way of saying it, your surname. This you put on the first line here. Then you go down to the second line where it says given name, and that is your first name. You put it there. Then you move over a little to the right, and it says your middle name. The next section is your date of birth. Now, like I said in previous videos, always look at the configuration of dates of whether it's date of birth, the date in which you sign your form, because some countries will require the year first or the day first, and here in the United States they require the month first, then the day, then the year. So make sure you pay attention to that. So date of birth, the month, then the day, and then the year. And if you have single digits for your for the month or the day, put a 0 in front and then put the number second. So if it's the 8th month or the 7th month or 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you put a 01 or 02 or 03. That's what you should do. Same thing goes for the day, 0, 1, 02, 03, depending on what the day is, if it's a single digit day or month. Next line, 3, number of family members traveling with you. That's self-explanatory. You put that number there. Okay, so 4, this is about addresses. So it's saying to you in the first line, it's saying a U.S. street address, hotel name, destination. So where will you be staying in the United States during your stay there? This is where you put the address. And then you put the city. If you're going to the United States, what city are you staying in? That you put where it says B. And then C says state, so you put the state in that section. The next, number 5, is about passport. Now, they're asking you first, your passport issued by, and that means the country. That you put there. Is it a French passport? Is it a United States passport? Is it a Spain passport? That's what you put in this section. The next line, number 6, is asking for passport number. And like I've said before in previous videos, always make sure, check and double check that you are putting the right numbers down where it says passport number. You do not want to make a mistake with that. Number 7, country of residence. Where are you from? Number 8, countries visited on this trip prior to U.S. arrival. So before you visit the United States, where were you before? They want to know that. They want to know that in these 2 lines. 1, 2. Number 9, airline flight number or vessel name. For our purposes, we're dealing with airline. And you can find your flight number on your boarding ticket. So find your number on your boarding ticket and you put that number right there. Number 10, the primary purpose of this trip is business, and you'll answer yes or no if it is. Number 11, I am, we are, bringing, and this is where the declarations come into play. So whatever you check here, remember, you're going to have to explain it elsewhere. So, or they're going to ask you. So make sure you fill it out correctly. So do you have any fruit, vegetables, plants, seeds, food, insects? Yes or no. B, meat, animals, animal, wildlife products? Yes or no. C, disease, agents, cell, cultures, snails? Yes or no. D, soil or have been on a farm, ranch, pasture? Yes or no. There's a lot of reasons why they want to know these things. Sometimes they just want to know. Sometimes there can be an outbreak and they need to know the origins of things, who has been in a certain area that had an outbreak, whether it's an animal outbreak or a human outbreak, with some kind of disease or virus or whatever. So, it just makes it easier for them to pinpoint certain situations. Number 12. Among other reasons. Number 12, we have been in close proximity of livestock. Yes or no? And then we have number 13, we are carrying currency or monetary instruments. I already explained what monetary instruments are. And they're asking if it is over 10,000 US or foreign equivalent. You answer yes or no. So 14 is we have commercial merchandise. Yes or no. And they give you examples here. Examples for sale, samples used for soliciting orders of goods that are not considered personal effects. Number 15, residence. Now this section is for residents only. The total value of all goods, including commercial merchandise, we have purchased or acquired abroad, including gifts for someone else, but not items mailed to the U.S., and are bringing to the U.S. is. So here you put it there. Now the next section is for visitors. Visitors only. So pay attention to number 15 because they divide it up into residents only and then visitors only. So in the visitors section, they're asking the total value of all articles that will remain, stay in the United States, including commercial merchandise is. And, you put down what the value is. Okay, so we're done with that. And now it says, read the instructions on the back. And for our purposes, we put the back to the left, to the right-hand side, so you can see what would be on the back of this form. And the space is provided to list all the items you must declare. So even though you're signing your name here, because that's the following thing that's being asked for you to sign your name and to date it, the date when you've signed this form. But we're not done. So now we have to go over to the flip side of the form, which for us is the right-hand side. And we look through all this information that they have listed here for our convenience. And then we itemize. We'll itemize all the things that we are declaring. Okay, all the description of articles. All right, so that's what you have to do. So it's what, what are you bringing in? What is the value of it? Okay, that's what you have to put in these lines. Item, value, item, value, item, value, so on and so forth. And remember, if you don't have enough space on this form, all you need to do is you get another form, you go to this side where it has all this itemization section, and you continue to fill out what you need to fill out, and you just put it together. And then when you go to customs, you give it to customs. They understand that you needed an extension of the customs form in order to put your other items on it because you simply didn't have enough room on the first form. So no worries there. Okay, everyone, we are done with this form. We are done with this 6059B form, and we are ready to give this to customs. So I hope that this video was informative, and remember to look at all the information that you need to know before going into the United States on the Customs Breeze website. And I will see you for the next video. Safe journey.